here today with a real special treat. Mr. Norris Bruce. Norris is one of our Arizona drag racing family and Arizona drag racing legend. He did it the hard way or the insane way, as most of us guys would think. He did everything on two wheels. Great success. He went all over the place and raced, and had a really big following, and was one of the guys in the motorcycle side that was really the go-to guy. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a lot of years since I've seen you. You're looking good. As good as age does any of us.
Really?
So, no, you look great, Norris. It's good to see you. What got you involved? I mean, when did you first know you want to get involved with fast stuff?
When we used to go out to Beeline, we had to have my friend Travis or my dad take us out there because we couldn't drive, and then pick us up at night. And then I got a little Honda 90, and that first race I went to was the opening Grand American Series in '66 with a Honda 90. 22nd quarter miles, you could wave at people in the stands, have a sandwich.
A pit bike.
Yeah, but I caught the fever, and then a few months later I had to buy a bigger bike, and then later that year another bigger bike. And, my dad never wanted me to be into motorcycles, but he never stopped me. That was good.
So you raced motorcycles? Were you a lot of street bikes as well?
Yeah, it was mostly street bikes at the start, and then I started building drag bikes. I had an aluminum frame 750 Honda. There's a picture over there with Gary holding me up for a burnout, and we set a couple records with that bike, and then eventually, like in '75, I built a twin engine drag bike. That was how you went fast back then, but then the next year blowers and nitrous oxide and turbos kind of made the twin engines antiques. But we went all over the country doing those races, back to Atco, New Jersey, and Orlando, Florida, and Bowling Green. We always enjoyed Bowling Green. That was a nice track to go to.
It still is.
Yeah,
it's still a fun track.
Yeah, they had an amusement park there and everything. You had roller coasters and drag racing.
That's right, and covered seating.
Yep.
So when was your first? Your first pass down, was it at Beeline on
on a Honda 90?
A Honda 90.
Yeah.
And that was enough to get you. Let's say I want to do more of this.
Well, I used to get drag news every week and read it faithfully, and I think Ray Agee used to write articles for Beeline every week, and it's like it was always enjoyable waiting in the mailbox. The mailbox gets the drag news.
What did you? Who were your early heroes in drag bike racing?
On drag bike, well, let's see, man, there was Danny Johnson, Elmer Trett. He's gone now. Kenny Lang. There was a couple Harley guys from California. Sonny Rostowski. Back then, a top fuel bike would go low 10s, maybe high 9s. Now I have street bikes that go that fast.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The technology, the horsepower to weight ratio is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
What was your first dedicated drag bike?
I would say I bought a 350, a 305 Super Hawk from Sunny Slope Honda, was modified, and it held an AHRI record at like 1371. I raced that for a while, and then that's when I got in. I built the 750 Honda. I got drafted in '69, got out in '71, and immediately bought an aluminum frame from Action Fours, built by a guy named Ralph Muldoon. He built a lot of them. Matter of fact, the twin engine Honda my brother-in-law Gary bought was an aluminum frame built by Muldoon. And we built a 750 Honda motor, and about the fifth time out, I pushed it into the high 10s, which was pretty good because I was never a small guy. I was always pushing 180, 200 pounds. We had a lot of
You filled out a set of leathers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. As I got bigger, I had to get bigger leathers.
You look dashing, though. It was a good look for you.
Yeah.
You talk about your brother-in-law Gary, and you're referring to Gary Judy.
Yeah.
Who was truly another legend. Gary, we lost Gary, but he loved people. He loved racing. He, like you, he served in the military. Unfortunately, he came back with losing a couple legs.
Yeah.
But it never stopped him.
No.
He was nothing that was like, he was inspirational to. I never could feel bad about myself
Yeah.
because he was doing more than me, as an able-bodied person. He could outpace me.
Yeah.
But how did you two get to meet one another?
Well, I'm married to his sister, but I mean, we met out at Beeline. We both had 305s. We raced, and we both got drafted around the same time. Except I got lucky and went to Germany. But he came back. You know, he came into the Honda shop where I worked at. It was kind of a startling thing to see. I mean, here's a guy who was about my same height. Now he's in a wheelchair, but it didn't stop him. He used to carry Instant Party in the trunk of his car, ice chests, ding dongs, beer, wine, soda. All I had to do was stop and get a couple bags of ice. Yeah, he was a character, and we went all over the country doing things, and I'm glad we did. Yeah, I mean, you know, we did whitewater rafting, and that's
He
always
wasn't
fun.
afraid.
Yeah, no,
He had no fear.
nope. He's a go-getter.
He played the Phoenix Suns basketball,
Yep.
a wheelchair basketball team.
Yep.
He worked on the starting line
Yeah,
at a drag strip,
yeah,
and was very nimble. Could get out of the way really, really quick.
yeah.
Strong.
Oh boy, strong as an ox.
Like we were talking earlier that Gary Judy was the guy that you could tease with him, but don't get within his reach because you weren't getting away.
Really,
Yeah.
he had a grip. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
He's a great guy. So he was, and he was always wanting to do something. And then he built something, didn't he?
He had Ed Roth built him a Volkswagen trike.
That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and he and I worked the hot car shoot at Garlitz's pro race out there, and I got into it with Shirley Modowny there. It was funny. She pulls up to the staging area, and then with these no-name guys from California, nice group. They had a dragster with two blowers, a 671 with a 471 on top of it. Well, she lost the coin toss, and she said, well, she wasn't ready. I said, well, you got to go to the back of the line. So I'm not going to the back of the line. So I called Garlitz. He come down and backed me up. If looks could kill, I'd have been dead that weekend. Every time she came up in the staging, the hot car shoot, you get those dirty looks. But he backed me up. It's like, boy, she was mad.
Well, she wasn't. They became good friends later in life.
Yeah.
But back then, there wasn't a big friendship between them.
Yeah, surely don't call me Cha Cha Modowny.
Yeah, yep. Well, I just remembering Gary, and unfortunately when Gary passed on, but a lot of great memories. He's definitely, if he was here, we'd be doing a legend video
Oh,
with
yeah.
him as well, because he's near and dear to a lot of our hearts. But you raced with a lot of great racers from Arizona,
Yeah.
and so you built the first. Tell us about the twin engine bike.
It was the one I built had a Cosman frame, but it had two Kawasaki motors. There's a picture of it over there somewhere.
We'll flash it up on the screen.
Yeah, and I did pretty well. I finished third in top gas in the country that year, But by then the Vance and Hines were dominating that field. They had money, Well, and I enjoyed myself. I had fun,
Vance and Hines, who are these guys you're talking about?
Yeah, Terry and Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been to their shop a few times. Matter of fact, that the bike that Gary bought, he bought it from them. Ronnie Tizon had took the motors out of it that they had just built and put like basically street motors in it. But I didn't do too bad. I ran a best of 950 at about 149 on it. And the Kawasaki at best I ran was like a 941 at 152. I did set the record at Alamo Dragway once, but it was a hell of a tailwind, 160 miles an hour, and the drag strip was set on like a half a mile stretch of county land. So at the end they built this big mound of dirt, and on that 160 mile run, the shutoff area was so rough I lost my footing on my back brake, and I'm on the front brake as hard as possible and just went up this mound and then rolled back down. But I had that mile-an-hour record there for a few years, and just because there was a big tailwind,
Well, timing is everything, right?
Yeah.
On the right day, the right time.
Yep.
What organization did you run with most back in that day?
Well, they had the AMDRA, American Motorcycle Drag Race Association, run by a guy named Roy Strawn. And we went to a race in Orlando, and supposedly the promoter of the track ditched with all the money. So he gave us, we won $300. He gave us half in cash and half in a check, which was never good, because he disappeared too. But I mean, we had fun. We did a lot of stuff all over the country.
I'm sure that there's a lot of great races you went to that people would never known about because they weren't car races.
Yeah.
And the motorcycles back in the day just didn't get the
No, he didn't
the
get a lot
love.
of attention. Yeah. I noticed a friend of mine sent me some national dragsters, and they do a pretty good coverage of the bike programs, the pro stock bikes and even the ET bikes now. Well, you know Vince Testa, right?
You bet.
I remember when he first came out here. He came out to Beeline, and there was something wrong with his bike, so I lent him one of my drag bikes, and we had to tape up his bell-bottom pants because they were getting sucked into the velocity stacks. But you know, Vince is
That Italian
Yeah.
fashion that he had bell bottoms on, right?
yeah, he's been around a while. He's doing pretty good out there on the circuit now, I guess. Him and Craig, Glenn's son. And again, they said Glenn's still alive. I don't know. You know, he's got to be getting up there.
Well, we keep getting up there until we don't. So
Yeah, really.
yeah, that's always a good thing. So who were your sponsors along the way?
Sunnyslope Honda sponsored me for a while, and basically really didn't even have any regular sponsors. They won a few contingency awards. And, you know, I got runner-up at Fremont's one in Top Gas, and I got $50 from M&H Tire Company. Yeah. But no, it was pretty much out of pocket.
So what was the quickest that you ended up going, and you know, when was the last time you went down the track?
Oh, so June of '94. I had a turbo nitrous bike, and I literally went down the track. I crashed at 170. I was pretty lucky. I actually got up and walked away from it. I had a separated shoulder, a lot of bruises, but you know, I walked away from it. You know, that was my last trip down a drag strip. You know, a friend of mine and I, we go to the Hot Rod Reunion in Bakersfield every year, but I've got some medical things going on. I'm not going to be able to make it this year. You ever go over there, Bill? You should go. That's a great race. The first race I went to was in 2007. They had a bracket called Nostalgia Eliminator 1. And I think the breakout was 760. And mostly the whole field of 64 cars were within 3/10 of that.
Right.
And they had everything. There was a twin-engine flathead dragster once, and you know, any kind of like center steer cars and you know, roadsters and stuff. It was really enjoyable to watch.
I've been to one of those races, a couple of those races. They're
Yeah.
a lot of fun. NE1,
Yep.
yeah, 760 dial in
Yeah, I
or
think
bracket, you know.
Yeah.
It's just so you had 94 was your last time down the track.
Yep.
You said, "I'm done with this," and that was
Well, yeah.
so that's 34 years ago, right?
Yep. Yeah. And when I got it,
30 years ago. She's my math.
You know, when I got home, my wife was mad at me for crashing, but I mean, I was okay. I mean, you know, like I say, I bumped and bruised and a separated shoulder, but that was it.
Did you lay it down any other times when you were racing time?
Nope.
Or that was it.
No, that was it. I had changed the back tire size, put a taller size on it, put a little more rubber on the ground, changed the rake on the front, which that chassis didn't have a lot of rake. And the first pass, when I shut off, I got into a tank slapper, so I just rolled back on the throttle, took the weight off it. Took a half a pound of air out of the tire the second pass. That was it, man. When I rolled off, I got into a tank slapper that I couldn't control, and next thing you know, the whole bike pitched sideways twice, and that was it. We were down. You know, well, I rode the bike down on the track. My right foot was underneath it. I pulled my right foot out, and I pushed myself off, and I tried to get a slide, put my arms out, still going too fast. It just knocked my arms in, so I just held my arms up like this, kept my knees flexed. I don't know how many times I rolled. It took a while for the ambulance to catch up to me, you know. And matter of fact, by the time they caught up to me, I was walking over to turn the fuel pump off. The bike was up against the guardrail, and it didn't matter because the fuel tank had left. But, but they're like, sit down, sit down. I was like, I'm okay, you know. It was.
You're stubborn.
Yeah, it was an experience. I don't want to do it again, but yeah.
So nowadays we have the NHRA definitely with the pro stock bike, because they're running over 200 miles an hour on a pretty regular basis, and it's just like a lot of great racers, male and female, out there doing it.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of riders,
Yeah.
and you know, some racers. Vance and Ice is still dominating. What do you think of the top fuel bikes now?
Oh man, they're going so fast. I mean, Spider-Man, I think, has gone over 260. And I heard somebody say they're going to limit them to 1,000 foot too. I don't know if they already have or not. I mean, they have parachutes now to help them stop. You know?
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
You never thought you'd see on a drag bike, and
Yeah.
there they are.
Did you ever see Larry Welch's rocket bike or turbine bike
did.
out of Beeline that time? Yeah. Yeah. He I don't know if he's even still alive. They had a twin engine. Him and Sonny Rout had a twin engine Triumph they used to run in Top Fuel many years ago. But, yeah, he was a character too. I mean, I was back at ADCO one time. We had both of our top gas bikes there, and they wouldn't let him run, you know. And so he's at the starting line, and he, you know, no helmet on. He puts his fist up in the air and just and goes down the track. Not a full throttle pass, but they made him leave. Act of defiance.
Yes, the biker defiance.
Yeah.
You bet. Now I remember watching the back at the Ontario Motor Speedway. And watching like Bo Brockton and
Yeah.
some of those people. It's like unbelievable mile an hour back then. It was just no way. I mean, it's no way. Now the Top Fuel guys actually have a ballistic jacket on
Yeah.
in case the motor blows up. It doesn't break their ribs or knock them off the bike. And it's just I don't know. I mean, would you do that?
I don't think so. Not now, that's for sure. Yeah, Gary and I used to go to Ontario. One year, there wasn't a full field in Top Fuel bike, so we entered. We got $300 to go out in the first round, and Gary went out and collected free cases of oil. He'd come back with his freewheeler with all this free stuff, and it was actually cheaper to get in the pits than it was to sit up in the stands.
With Gary, why that doesn't surprise me?
Yeah.
He was that guy.
Yeah.
Great story there. So you go out the races. When's the last time you went out to watch? Are you a good watcher?
Yeah, last year we went to the Hot Rod Reunion.
Okay.
Me and my buddy. Like I say, we're not going to make it this year, but I always enjoyed going there. First one, like I say, was in 2007. And you sit up in the stands, you talk with a lot of old guys, and it's a good time. And they got the best drag strip food. Down behind the stands there's a whole quarter mile worth of food vendors.
Yeah, Bakersfield's a fun place to go.
Yep.
What other passions do you have?
Now we have grandkids.
Hey, grandkids?
Yeah. And we now have one grandson he's only like 10 months old now, and his daddy, our grandson, just got transferred down from Travis Air Force Base. He was a crew chief on a C-47, the C-17 cargo plane, and now he's out at Luke working on the new stealth fighters. He's a computer guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And what about roller coasters?
Oh man, my wife and I have probably ridden 300 roller coasters all across the country and into Canada. I'm going to have to give those up too now, unless this cancer tumor gets better, because it's hard to take a pounding like that anymore.
So what was the most outrageous one you remember being on? Were there any ones that you went on you go, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, I think when he was interviewing me out at the Racers Reunion last year, the Beast in Kings Island. It's over a mile long, and it's got 2 lift hills, and it's at the end of the park, so you're just like whistling through the forest. And there's three tunnels with the only lights there, and we belong to a club called American Coaster Enthusiasts, and you could get in early and go out on the first train as the people are running in there, and then at the end of the night, it had broke down for a while, and we were waiting in line, and they let us ride it, after the park had basically closed, and my wife and I either like the back seat or the front seat, and it's a great night ride. I mean, just great.
You ever lost anything, like fall out of your pockets or on a roller coaster?
No, I always wear like zippered Velcro pockets.
Jump pockets, right?
Yeah. Our son lost a hat once, and another son lost his keys. It's like you got to secure that crap, because a lot of these coasters go upside down now. Some of them will go upside down. There's one in Magic Mountain goes 7 times upside down. And they have another one that the cars rotate while you're going upside down. The track is in the middle. 2 cars hang out here and 2 cars hang out there, but they actually rotate while you're going through the ride. You're going through a loop, and I literally had to get off and stand still for about a minute before I walked away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I mean, you race motorcycles.
Yeah.
Roller coasters, it really doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I love the smile on your face and the glint in your eye from that.
Yeah.
300. Wow.
Yeah.
I used to be a place at Thomas and 44th Street, so on basically Oak, Kitty Land.
Yeah.
Had a little roller coaster there.
Yeah.
That was enough for me. That thing maybe got 12 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I had a lighter guy riding for me. We set a couple records in the AMA drag bike, and he could hardly handle a roller coaster, but he could go 152 miles an hour on a drag strip, you know,
Yeah.
riding on the wheelie bars halfway down, you know.
Well, it sounds to me like you've had a great life, and
Yeah.
good luck. You know, we know you're fighting a cancer deal right now, and
Yeah.
but we pray that everything turns out well for you, and we also really are thankful for the great memories you've given us and that you've shared with us today. I love watching the motorcycles race back then because I knew nothing about them. I knew it was something I would never want to get on, and I had a lot of respect for you guys. And
Yep.
then also one last thing, one more time, you know, Gary Judy. God,
Yep.
you know, God bless him. He was a very inspirational guy to
Yeah, I
all
miss him.
racers. He really was. So, Norris, we really appreciate you being here today. You are an Arizona drag racing legend, like it or not. You're a legend, and thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you.